With all these technologies, I think the time to buy them is when they're big enough that it's obvious they work and they've got massive momentum, but when 99% of the people on the street don't understand them. I think this is a classic paradigm shift. You can see them with the automobile, with mobile phone, with airlines. People tried to create airplanes that flew for hundreds of years. Leonardo da Vinci was thinking about it. And up until 1902, every learned person in the universe could give you a million reasons why airplanes will never work. And in 1903, a couple of bicycle mechanics from Dayton, Ohio, not the people you would think would invent the airplane, they figured it out, bicycle mechanics. Thousands of years people have been trying and failing. In 1903, it sort of works. By 1969, we're on the moon. And so the S curve, it kicks up, it accelerates. 99.9% of all the assets in the world are in alt assets. $250 trillion in bonds, stock, real estate, precious metals, derivatives. $250 billion in Bitcoin. 0.1%, 10 basis points. I don't think that means that 99.9% of the people don't know, but maybe 99% don't really understand it. So on one hand, we know we're early because it's the solution to $250 trillion worth of a problem, right? The problem is in an aggressively expanding monetary environment where fiat currency is not going to hold its value. Now you've got a solution. And 99% of the people don't understand the solution. Ergo, we're very early in the S curve, but we're 250 billion into it, which means that when we were at $1 billion, it could have been snuffed out. I mean, you can figure out what could have happened. The IRS could have given you a hostile tax treatment. The government could have made it illegal to own it. I think that we've got a forest fire We have a fire in cyberspace. It is raging with $250 billion worth of monetary energy. I think it's too big to stop right now, or at least it's conceivable to stop the forest fire. But it's a lot harder to stop the forest fire than it is to put out the campfire. In a fiat system with a monetary supply that's expanding at a rapid rate, you're freezing and suffocating everybody doing business in the currency. It's just a question of how fast am I it's like marching a bunch of Boy Scouts to the top of Mount Everest, and I've got a little altimeter, and my altimeter says, oh, well, I'm at sea level, right? The altimeter is reading inflation. And so if I set the altimeter to a market basket of YouTube streaming videos and Domino's pizza and manufactured goods with a 5% variable cost, I pretend that I'm at sea level, but I keep marching the Boy Scouts up 5,000 feet. And at 5,000 feet, they can't breathe, but we're at sea level. And then I march them up to 10,000 feet, and now they're all freezing cold. But I say, no, can't be, we're at sea level. And I keep marching them up. And eventually I march the Boy Scouts to 20,000 feet, and they're all froze to death. And at some point, you got to say to yourself, maybe the altimeter's wrong. It's a paradigm shifting year, that we declare a war on COVID, we declare a war on the currency, a COVID war, a currency war, two wars. People used to say to me, oh, Bitcoin is this cool thing. I'm like, well, I don't get it. That was like noise, right? This Bitcoin thing is noise. Then people would say, well, there's the Fed is printing money. Well, that's kind of noise too, because it's not that big a deal. By mid-March, it's 2 weeks to stop the spread. By mid-April, it's pretty clear it's not going to be 2 weeks to stop the spread. And it's pretty clear there's going to be a K-shaped recovery. People are not going to be back at Disneyland on airplanes by the end of April. That's very clear to everybody except for people on TV that don't want to say it, right? The underlying fundamentals of Wall Street didn't get 20 or 30% better in the 4 weeks after March, but the stock market did. And so you saw a delamination of asset values from the underlying fundamentals. And that's the aha moment when you realize that the currency is broken. And at that point, that kicks me into a new way of thinking because I'm just living it. And I'm realizing simultaneously that money's not ever going to be useful to me. There's a difference between buying $250 million worth of Facebook and buying $250 million worth of Apple and buying $250 million worth of sovereign debt or gold. These things are traditional, conventional asset classes that everybody understands. If you were to stand up and say, oh, I bought $250 million worth of Facebook, that's somewhere between vain, and flashy and arrogant or whatever. But when you're birthing an asset class, when you're actually legitimizing a brand new idea that 99% of the world doesn't understand and they are either ignorant of or afraid of, at that point, it's important that people with conviction stand up and they say, nothing to be ashamed of. I did it. I'm proud I did it. I'm going to buy more. It wasn't a hedge. It's not a speculation. On one hand, you have this world which is the world of the economist, where politics and philosophy enter in. And the idea is, because I believe something, it's okay to go ahead and print $1 trillion. There's a different world, the world of engineering. Bitcoin is unique. It's the only scarce asset. It's the only one where you can't print more of it. And that makes it utterly unique in the finance world. But it's utterly ordinary in the engineering world. There isn't any engineering system that doesn't respect the laws of thermodynamics and conservation of energy. In fact, the entire universe operates under natural law. And the first law is conservation of energy. You can't make it or you can't get rid of it. You can convert it between mass and energy, but it is what it is. And Einstein knew it, Newton knew it. If I build a pneumatic system with a leak in it, it doesn't work. If I build a hydraulic system with a leak in it, it doesn't work. If I have a power line with a leak in it, with a short, it doesn't work. It's all energy, right? What is money? Money is monetary energy. Money is a word used so often that people don't really think about what it is. But if they're an engineer, you would say money is monetary energy. Monetary energy is the superset of all energies relative to the human condition. Kinetic energy, potential energy, chemical energy, nuclear energy, electrical energy, all energies can be converted via work into money. Money is energy. Bitcoin is the first software network in the history of the world that is capable of storing and channeling monetary energy without power loss. Fiat is a monetary energy system, and there are different systems. The Argentine peso is a monetary energy system that's bleeding 20% a year. The US dollar was bleeding 50 basis points a month for the past decade, but now it's bleeding 1% to 2% a month. What we're doing is capturing monetary energy on a network is an incredible achievement. It's like getting out of the gravity well. It's like I got into space. I'm in a vacuum. Now I can rotate at 25,000 miles an hour around the earth forever, and it'll never stop. If I put something in a vacuum, it will last forever. It's not going to decay. It's not going to be attacked by bacteria, etc. If I leave it on the ground, it's going to rot. When everybody understands that this is happening, they're going to stampede through a very tight nozzle in order to convert their analog fiat-based bonds and stocks and their gold, which is debasing. They're going to convert that monetary energy off of those assets into Bitcoin. You'll get another 10, 20%, right? What happened in the past 12 months is Bitcoin's up 80%, something like that. You can explain it as one part inflation, one part adoption, one part technical utility in the near term. I paid $9,800 a Bitcoin, a lot more than most hodlers paid. I wasn't thinking if I sit around, maybe it'll go back to 4,000. I was thinking I'm a rational person reacting to rational circumstances. What if other rational people with more money than me have the same idea I have? In which case, I'm gonna have to chase this thing to 20, 30, 40, 50,000. And hence the phrase, once you understand it, you go to bed at night with chronic anxiety, feeling chronically short. You're like, I was worried the rest of the world would start acting rational, right? And so in that, I was happy to be able to buy it below 10,000. I was like, this is a gift, thank you. all the people that think they know Bitcoin, that sit around and they whine that they're, or they lament, I got to wait till it goes back again. I'm going to wait for it to crash. I think they don't really understand Bitcoin, because if they understood Bitcoin, then they would be thinking, the only thing I worry about is how do I figure out how to buy more? You're preserving energy in a world where everybody else, where 99.9% of the money is dissipating energy.